The goal is to stick my foot into the fire ant nest to see if I can not get stung.
Don't try. I don't know why.
Okay, here goes nothing. Very gently.
Oh no. Oh yeah. Oh no. I cracked the code.
Before I dive into this, let me give you some very important background information on fire ants. I'm here in North Carolina, and these fire ants are not native. They're originally from the tropics of South America. I should also explain exactly which fire ant I'm talking about. You see, there are over 200 fire ant species worldwide in the genus Solenopsis. Specifically, I'm talking about the red imported fire ant, Solenopsis invicta. It was probably introduced to Alabama in the late 1930s. Now it has spread across the United States. They are among the worst invasive species in the world. I remember as a kid when they first invaded my home city of Flower Mound, Texas. They were the worst ants to get stung by. One ant sting would make a pussy pimple that was burning, and then it would itch. It was really terrible. But maybe you've never been stung by a fire ant, and this makes no sense. So to put this in perspective, imagine you're this worm. That is what my foot's going to be in a very short amount of time. Now they've made it here to North Carolina, and they're causing huge problems. In fact, I went out with the North Carolina Zoo earlier this year to help with some frog conservation efforts of this endangered gopher frog.
One of the big problems is fire ants. There are tons of fire ant mounds out here.
You see, ants sting and kill the small frogs, and that's not good for keeping these frogs from going extinct.
And most importantly, it's probably going to be this fire ant management and control that we're going to begin very, very soon.
There are also huge problems in my own yard. Take a look at this nest.
That is the best looking nest I've been able to find over here.
Now, I'm not looking forward to this because 1, trips to the ER are expensive, and 2, I don't really want scars from the stings.
So the goal is to try to get these fire ants not to sting me much. I'm sure they will a little bit, but I'm gonna ice my foot so that it's cold. Maybe that will make me not look like a predator. The unenjoyable bit is sticking your foot into the ice. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put Vaseline on my leg so that the ants don't see it as human flesh. So the fire ants will probably have a fire sensation. This is the opposite. This is a ice sensation. So you're getting both of them in the mix here. But I'm curious if understanding a little bit about their behavior would allow you to put your foot into the nest without getting fully stung. Just attempt number 1. I'm sure there's lots of ways you could do this. I'm kind of excited about the idea that maybe cold plus Vaseline, maybe they won't sting that much. Because I've definitely put my foot accidentally in a fire ant nest and it is not fun. This is something I've not seen anybody else do, so we'll see how this goes. It's pretty impressive how fire ants are able to defend their colony. I'm also very impressed by their toxins. Just the fact that they're able to pack such a potent punch, that's pretty cool.
But before I did all of this, I needed to do some research on these stings. The best person I could think to help me understand it was my friend Dr. Adrian Smith. He studies ants and runs Ant Lab out of this facility.
This is the North Carolina Museum of Natural Sciences, and it is one of the coolest museums I know. Here, check this out.
Here, the scientists do their work for the public to see. That means they're all behind glass like this. It's a great way to showcase how science actually works. And we're here today to film these stings in ultra high res and slow motion. But I arrived a little bit early, so it gave me an opportunity to take a look around.
Adrian's busy at the moment, so before we get started, this is a perfect opportunity for me to talk about the sponsor of this video. It's the perfect sponsor. It's Ants Underground Kingdom. So let me give you some background here on this. I have in front of me actual underground kingdoms of ants. These are aluminum casts, and this is what it looks like in real life. You know, so up here is where the top of the nest would be, and they go deep down underground. This is something they simulate in the game. This is a 7-foot tall cast of a trapjaw ant.
No one had ever cast this ant nest before, that's why we went and did it.
It's a representation kind of what's happening in the game. You see, in the game, it's strategy, and you're trying to figure out how to build your kingdom with different ant colonies and grow your resources. And that's what's happening in the wild with real ants too.
You're into nature? This is for you.
And as a biologist, I can't tell you to do something that I don't believe in. But fortunately, here's a game that you can play that teaches you about ants. It teaches you about the natural world. But every single one of these ants are real ants. They're photorealistic representations. You're growing your colony, you're learning about how habitats work, and it's just a fun strategy game. It has gotten a thumbs up from my son, I'll tell you that.
You're like building things, upgrading your queen. Yeah, it's pretty good though, like for real.
Join now and prepare for the first ant season coming in April. You will get to see a newly upgraded battlefield and unlock exclusive championship experiences. 12 new limited edition super ants are being released to help your army get season rewards and to bring you and your alliances to the top of the kingdom.
And I also got approval from the actual ant biologist who I'm here to see, Dr. Adrian Smith.
But the professional. Brush the ants off your phone.
If you're on YouTube and you've ever seen flying insects in slow motion, you've probably seen his videos. Adrian's flying moth video is one of my favorites. Today, he quickly showed me how he films these insects in slow motion, and I have to admit, it was not at all what I was expecting.
There we go. Got one.
That was it?
That's it. That's the whole thing. So this thing will shoot 70, 100,000 frames per second, and it's in super slow-mo to us, but I kind of don't see it as filming stuff in slow motion. I kind of just see it filming them at the speed and at the scale that they live. If you just use a normal camera or something like that, it will seem like a confusing, chaotic blur. But once you get a tool to see that at its own sort of scale and its own speed, then you get to appreciate an organism for what it is.
But more specifically, we're going to look at the fire ant.
So this is just a bucket full of really fun ants, a bucket full of fire ants. I knew you were coming, so I got this yesterday from a CVS parking lot. 20 and 80,000 ants in this bucket right now that we just scooped out in 2 or 3 shovelfuls. So this is lined with Teflon. It's inside of this secondary bucket, which also is lined with Teflon. It's inside this big pan, which also is lined with Teflon. So if an ant got out of here, it deserves to get out. It's a champion escape artist, but luckily nobody got out.
First, setup. Then, protective glasses so we don't melt our eyeballs. Now for the ants. What we could see from the footage in this macro scale and at several thousand frames a second absolutely blew my mind.
A lot of people say you got bitten by an ant, which is true in a sense, but you don't really feel the biting part. But that is the first part, is they will sort of anchor themselves by inserting their mandibles, biting you, and then they're just kind of doing that to grab hold. You usually don't feel that unless it's a really big ant. On these fire ant workers, on the smaller ones, you wouldn't feel the bite really. So they're biting you, they're sinking the mandibles in, and then they flip their abdomen underneath their body and then sting you like a bee or a wasp would with the stinger, which is a modified ovipositor, but it's just used for liquid venom delivery in ants. So that thing goes in and it's 3 components. There's a solid shaft and then 2 sort of quarter circles that kind of pump back and forth like that. And there's muscles that move them along the sting shaft once they're in your skin. And each little pump like that is drawing venom out of the venom sac inside of their bodies. And that's how they inject it. They're physically kind of ratcheting pistons back and forth. And then you feel it. And then it starts puffing up like that.
Is it?
That's where it got me, right there. Every ant, with an exception of a male, winged male, in a fire ant colony can sting you. There's anywhere from 10 to 100,000 of them. And if you step in a fire ant nest, they're quick to defend their nests. And so you're not just getting stung by 1 or 2, you're getting potentially stung by hundreds, thousands, like in a very short time. But you can feel it for sure, and it's meant to be felt. The next day you'll develop like little pustules, and that's unique to the fire ant stings. So and there's another one.
Oh my gosh.
On that thumb.
Kidding me?
So those little pustule welts that's what fire ant stings look like the next day.
That's not good.
Fire ants are feisty and they're not afraid to sting, and they are happy to do it. Fire ants are at the top of the aggressive list.
What I realized is that this whole stinging fire ant thing that I had prepared to do was not going to be fun.
So do you think it's possible to put your hand in a fire ant nest without getting stung?
No.
And even if Adrian didn't think it was going to work, I felt the urge to continue with my plan, with a few safety precautions in place. So here I am back in the front yard to see how this experiment that I am not hoping anyone else tries actually goes.
It's not super scientific, but always trying to push the boundary a little bit. I've not seen anybody do this on YouTube, and we'll see how it goes. I do know that if they do sting me, I will react to it, and it will swell up in little pustules. I was trying to prep my legs here with a little trim. That way it didn't rip all the hair off. So I'm sticking my foot in the fire ant nest, which I don't recommend you to do, because you've been stung before, right? What?
You're probably gonna get stung a lot. It hurts a lot.
I will say I'm worried that the Vaseline is just gonna get them stuck in my legs. So once they sting, they'll just keep stinging because they can't crawl around. So we'll see.
Yeah, it makes me sick.
I don't know where your head is, Jonas. I don't know what you use Vaseline for.
Yeah,
Oh, that you can hardly see?
yeah.
Okay, well, I could go a little thinner.
Like you would with sunscreen, that's what I'm thinking.
Jonas thinks I'm putting too much on. Could be.
Okay, here goes nothing. Very gently. I'm just having second thoughts.
Yep, here they come.
Oh no.
Oh my gosh! I feel like they're biting me.
Oh no.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh no. Are they biting
At this
you?
moment, that look on my face is nervous apprehension. I assumed I'd just be fighting through the pain in a few seconds. I was waiting for it to happen, but I was very surprised that this wasn't the case.
They're not biting me. Look at this. I cracked the code. I did it. Seriously, look at that.
I kept my leg in for a grand total of 8 minutes, while we got a variety of shots. But at this point, I didn't really know if because I had chilled my leg, I just wasn't feeling the stings. I don't want to regret this later.
Yeah, we'll see.
Let's see.
It itches just looking at it.
If nothing else, this creates more questions. In total, I only got stung about 10 times, and there were plenty of areas without much Vaseline. So, was it the Vaseline or was it the cold?
If you know there's a fire ant pile nearby, cover your entire body with Vaseline.
So, was it the Vaseline or was it the cold? Whatever it was, I have to say this was a successful, although somewhat risky, personal experiment.
Back in the ice. Stick it back in. Ooh, yeah. So I definitely feel the itch. Given the right situation, with a little bit of Vaseline and a little bit of cold, you can successfully make sure that they don't bite you. I'm not sure what the exact solution is. Maybe it was that they didn't smell me. Maybe it was the Vaseline was too thick, but I don't think so, because there was definitely some areas that it wasn't super thick. I also was chilled, so I'm not like a heat source. I'm not sure what they're sensing. I will see how my body reacts to this later though, because I did get stung a few times, but honestly, it wasn't that bad. I definitely want to thank the sponsors, Ants Underground Kingdom, for sponsoring this, because it's something I wanted to try. I wanted to use a little science to experiment with, and we're able to do that. It's just kind of fun. I mean, this is the whole point with Stone Age Man, is to understand a little bit about the natural world around us. And in this case, we're picking fire ants. If you know a little bit about it, maybe you can minimize the risks. I know there's not a whole lot of takeaways here, because you're not going to be putting your foot in Vaseline and in a bucket of ice before getting stung. But maybe you learned a little bit about the venom of fire ants, so that's pretty cool. I also want to thank my patrons who are constantly supporting this educational work. We are going next week, however, to Jamaica to do a magic mushroom retreat, so I'm very excited about that. I think you'll learn a lot, so stay tuned. If you haven't already hit that notification bell, do that. Exciting. See you in the next one.